we now have another update in the latest going on with the Zach LaVine trade saga and the Chicago Bulls. Apparently now Zach LaVine, it's come out now that Zach LaVine just does not want to play for head coach Billy Donovan. Now, this isn't surprising when you think about some of the details of things that have come out since the Zach LaVine trade request has been made public, saying that he's never really gotten over the benching that happened last November with Billy Donovan. And just looking at the overall losing and things from the team and how players have been utilized, it really comes down to, it seems like Zach just wants to play under a different coach and wants a better chance to win. And, with that said, does that mean that the situation between the Bulls and Zach LaVine could be fixed if Billy Donovan's out of the picture? It does not seem like that. Through everything that we've heard and things that we know so far, it seems like either way, Zach LaVine has requested a trade. He is now on his way out at some point in time. It's not going to be any time recent. We've already talked about, I told you guys, don't look for a Zach LaVine trade to happen before mid-December. But we now know that relationship between Billy Donovan and Zach LaVine has completely broken down. And, some Bulls fans would say that that's not a surprise, right? As Bulls fans, we've kind of been down on Billy Donovan. A lot of Bulls fans asking why Billy Donovan was even given a secret contract extension. And that may be how Zach LaVine feels as well, looking at how he and other players have been utilized under head coach Billy Donovan. And with the front office and ownership's really, their love of Billy Donovan, Zach LaVine could look at that situation and say the best scenario for me in my career is to get out of it. Now, one of the questions that are going to need to be asked is, with the Bulls betting on a head coach over a player yet again, even though this is a different front office, right, than what happened before, the last time the Bulls were in the situation was Jimmy Butler and Fred Hoiberg. And they made the decision. Fred Hoiberg ended up getting fired a year later. Jim Boylan came in, really kind of killed a lot of the momentum and things from other players. But is this the Bulls team reliving another mistake they've made previously in our history, and that is betting on a coach instead of a player? And that is something that I can say, as a lifelong Bulls fan, is a little bit triggering, right? And the Bulls, like I've said before, they have to make and get this trade right. I don't think the Bulls have won a trade since the Eddie Curry trade, right? I know DeMar DeRozan was a signing trade, things like that. I'm not looking at those, but I don't really think that they did. They have won a trade since then. And they won the Eddie Curry trade only because they got the pick that then became Joakim Noah in that trade. So I really look at this situation from the Bulls and wonder, are they making the wrong decision yet again, betting on a coach rather than betting on a player? Now, again, Zach LaVine's a very flawed player, and you have to build around him in a specific way. But at least right now, through what we're hearing, and this one was actually reported by Jake Fisher over at Yahoo Sports, that Zach just does not want to play for head coach Billy Donovan anymore. And so we'll see what ends up coming with that. Everything that we see is that, hey, listen, Zach LaVine, per this report, does not view the Bulls roster as competitive enough to turn into any type of contending corner in the East. And, many Bulls fans feel that as well. Right now, the Bulls are, one of the worst teams in the league. We haven't really, other than the first year that this team came together, made the playoffs, and we snuck into the play-in last year, ended up getting eliminated. So those things all kind of fall in track, right? Now, we also got a couple of other teams that could be interested in Zach LaVine, in the San Antonio Spurs and the Sacramento Kings are teams that Zach is interested in going to, and they could have some interest in Zach LaVine as well. And when you look at kind of how their recent history goes as far as developing players, especially for the San Antonio Spurs, that makes it for a situation, makes sense for a player that's trying to get into a better situation and better culture. But the biggest question now here is this a yet another fail of the Bulls to build the proper culture that players are going to want to come to? And could this be another black eye on the Chicago Bulls franchise as they try to build something, and maybe it could affect free agents, maybe it could affect players wanting to come here? And, we'll end up seeing how that all happens and shakes out. But let me know what you guys think on it all down below. As always, make sure you're following the show at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, thanks to you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up. Go Bulls. Love you guys. I mixed the Bulls and Bears Central outros, but it is what it is. See you ready if you can, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.